This is Mr. Reed from Wolverhampton Music Service. This video is to support trumpet, cornet, baritone, euphonium and tuba players playing with piston valve instruments. We're going to do some basic maintenance on your instrument. You might find that you want to get your parents to come along and give you a hand just to make sure everything goes okay. The first problem you might have is that one of your valves might be sticking a bit. Sometimes you press it up and down and it doesn't feel so good. The solution to this is very simple. All you need to do is turn your instrument upside down so you can see the hole on the bottom of the valve. Then get a teaspoon of water, just a small amount of water, pour it in through the hole in the bottom. All right? It doesn't matter if you put too much in, it is not going to harm the instrument. Then, with the instrument still upside down, give the valve a waggle up and down several times to get the water to go down inside the valve, and that should hopefully free the valve up and keep it working. You can do that quite a few times, it is not going to harm the valve. If you don't waggle the valve, when you turn it the right way up, the water falls out. So just make sure you do, and that should keep your valve working okay. If you have a valve that is stuck down completely, then it's a little bit harder to sort out. You might want to get one of your parents to come and help you with doing this. Now, as you look at the valve, we have the part that should be going up and down inside, and then we have the casing on the outside. The bit that goes up and down actually does the moving is actually made up of several different parts, so we want to make sure we don't unscrew that. They just screw together. All right, so if we look at it, here on the top of the valve, we have the actual top bit. This is the bit we do not want to unscrew. And then down below it, we have the bit that does actually unscrew, but don't unscrew it. We don't want to take the whole valve apart because that will make it a lot more complicated for you to put it back together again. So if we imagine this first valve is stuck, what we need to do is lift that valve up. Now, if you can just simply pull it up with your fingers. But if you can't get it to come up, then the trick is the bit that screws, this bit down here, you can turn it round, just part way round, and that will lift the valve up a little bit. It will push the valve up. What you need to watch out is to make sure that this top bit of the valve isn't turning with it, because if it does, that will undo it. So you need to maybe put a finger on top, just like mine is, so that that stops that from turning as you turn it round a couple of screws, maybe twice round, and then you will find that your valve has lifted up just a little bit. Then you can get a knife, just a normal knife will do. You don't need a sharp knife. And what you do with the knife is you can get it just underneath the edge of that top of the valve and then twist it or lift it, and you can lever the valve up enough so that you can then grab it and pull it up. Then hopefully you'll be able to move it up and down a few times, and then you can put water in the bottom to get it moving much better. Hopefully that will solve the problem. Another common problem is if your mouthpiece has stuck in the instrument. If it has stuck, you can simply leave it for now. It doesn't harm the instrument while it's there, and your teacher will be able to get the mouthpiece out when you are back at school. It's not going to be a problem apart from actually fitting your instrument back in the case again. Some instruments like my cornet do happen to fit in the case, others don't. So you'll just have to use a little bit of care when you put your instrument back wherever you store it if it won't fit in the case. If your instrument has started to sound a bit strange and feels as though all the air is leaking out of it while you play, it may be that that is happening. On the bottom end of the instrument, you have spit valves. There may be one, there may be more. All right. If you have one that is actually on the pipe that sticks out for a valve, and it only happens when you press that valve down, then that's the one that's doing it. If it's doing it all the time, if you look around, you will find that one of the pipes leads either directly from the mouthpiece past the spit valve or from the spit valve straight around to the bell at the end of the instrument. Now, if you look at it, you should see there'll be a curved piece of metal with then either a cork or a small piece of rubber that's actually sealing the hole up on the bottom of the instrument. If that cork or piece of rubber has gone missing, then that's going to let all the air out. The solution is quite simple. It's a temporary one, but it will work fine. Just get paper towel, anything like that, tear a piece off, and then fold it up so that it's a nice small square, something like that will do the job, and then simply jam it in, jam it into the spit valve and close it, and that will seal it well enough to work in the meantime. It will get a bit soggy and you'll need to replace it regularly, but it will do the job. Another possibility is that the spring, there's a funny spring in here that has gone, that is holding that closed. Right? If that is the case, you will feel that it's got no spring to it. The solution is to get either an elastic band or a hair bobble like this and wrap it round to tie it closed, and that will just do the job. Or even you could even put some sellotape around it. The tape or something like that won't harm the instrument. It's not a brilliant permanent solution, but it will work for now.